Hey folks, welcome to a video on G4G. Today we're going to do a video that I've been talking about for a little while now, and that is going to be the 3K sub hype video. It's been a long time coming. It's actually been a couple months, if not several months. Mostly I get sidetracked with more important and timely videos, but now that Beta 2 is out for Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux, and we've got a video on that, and we've got a link for it on how to install it and everything like that. It's time to get to some of the more loose ends on the channel. We're actually up to 3.2k subs now. I thought I'd take a little bit of time to talk about the channel itself, what it's been doing, kind of the history of it. I'm going to peel back several layers of the stinky onion that is the channel, and also talk a little bit about me and my history and some things maybe you do and don't know. So this video is a little bit of self-gratification and self-internet fapping, so bear with me on that. So before we get into some of the onion peeling and let's look behind the curtain, there's a couple things that I'll establish ahead of time before you see it. You'll be kind of surprised to know some of the stats in correlation to the Marvel Avengers Alliance videos. I would probably say Marvel Avengers Alliance is most responsible for a lot of my subs. However, it is not responsible for the majority of views on the channel. In modern times, it gets up there, and it is a solid base that sustains the channel, but in some of the all-time stats, it actually, there's going to be a lot of surprising things in this video. So first, one of the things that I wanted to do is reveal some of my recording setup and like what I do for the videos and everything like that. In most recent years, for quite some time, I actually record with the GeForce Experience. It is my preferred method of recording videos and was on my new computer and my old computer. Way back in the day was Fraps, and then there was a middle ground of Camtasia. A lot of the early Marvel Avengers Alliance videos were done through Camtasia. Kind of the solid, meaty middle ground of my Marvel Avengers Alliance recordings. Then towards the end, in the last year, maybe two, it was the GeForce Experience, and then towards the tail end, it actually wasn't recording off of Facebook, but that Facebook gaming app. That was very, very handy. That was a great boon for me in doing recording when I can actually do it from the Facebook app, rather than having to do it on the web. What I do now has changed from what I did on my old PC. What I do now is I use the GeForce Experience to record the video that I want to record, and it gets saved on this hard drive. I ship the raw file over my network to my older computer, which has the registered version of Camtasia on it. I splice in the intro and the transition effects and record the video in a YouTube format over there, which then allows me to go back to gaming on my main PC. Historically, when everything was done on the now older PC, when it was my primary one, I would record over there and then have to wait until I wasn't gaming, whether I was at work or asleep, and let the rendering occur during that period of time. This way I didn't lose, gaming time and everything. Now it's much easier. Now I can kind of do it concurrently, which is super handy. It's good time management. So the utilities right now are the GeForce Experience and Camtasia. When I was streaming for Marvel Avengers Alliance and the other games that I stream, again, it's through the GeForce Experience, and when it would kind of not work, I would go over to OBS for a little bit, but it's not my preferred because GeForce Experience does everything on the GeForce card, so a lot of the lag goes down, and when you're not having PC lag, you can up the stats of your stream a little bit. You can update the resolution and upgrade that a little bit, the bit rate. You can do a few more things. Now on this current PC, that's not even really an issue. So to kind of show you the stats that I'm running now, quite happy with it. An Intel Core i9 9900K. It's a Coffee Lake variant, and running 16 gigs RAM in here, and have an RTX 2070. So this was all relatively new towards the end of the summer. I used PC Part Picker to set up a wish list, and then I kind of cheesed it by eBaying a lot of the stuff. It's not recommended to do that. You kind of want to purchase everything in a clump. This way, if something doesn't work, you find out in a more timely manner, rather than getting a motherboard 1 week and then RAM in another week, and then you're finally setting it up, and then you find out the RAM isn't working. So that is currently the stats that I've got going. I have a Logitech keyboard and a Logitech mouse. I prefer Logitech products as much as possible, but I'm also not adverse to Razer products. I have 2 Razer mouse pads, one really long Goliath XL that is RGB, and then I have an older hard Firefly that was my original RGB mouse pad, and that one has now been moved to the side. So sound wise, I prefer Creative products. I will always try and stick with a Creative Sound Blaster, even when people say, well, onboard audio is so much better now. Nah, I'm a jackass when it comes to that one. I'm a snob with it. I like my Creative cards, and I like Logitech speakers. I have been addicted to Creative and Logitech for audio for many years, and there was a period of time where I ran a Turtle Beach sound card. Didn't quite do it for me. Did not rectify the audio pants over there, and if I can help it, I stick to Logitech speakers. Although historically my older speakers were Altec Lansings, and I also really liked them. Good bass response, good quality out of those. So that's kind of the status of a lot of the keyboards and mice and computer equipment now. So let's go ahead and jump into some stuff about the channel. So here's the channel. You can see it's about 3.2k subscribers. You'll know that G4G is Games for Gamers. What you don't know and you don't see as often on the channel anymore is TTC, which is Tim's Tech Corner. I did do a TTC video back in the end of the summer when I got this new computer, because I had an issue that not only affected Google Chrome, but affected the GeForce experience, and it was one stupid little registry key that affected both things. So I did a video on it so that I could help people fix it, because it was a long time in fixing for me. It was a huge amount of back and forth. There was even a reformat of Windows in there at some point, actually multiple reformats. And the fix was a registry key, because one site was like, oh yeah, that's a known issue. If you start with this version of Windows 10 and then you upgrade immediately to like 1903 or 1809, whatever it was at the time, this registry key doesn't get fixed and you got to fix it. Surprisingly, the video's got about 1,000 views, which is pretty decent for that issue. But TTC is actually the original portion of the channel where a lot of things got a tremendous amount of hits, and that's what we'll dive into in a little bit. Before we get into the further history of the channel, a little backstory on me, how I wound up on the net and doing the things that I'm doing now. I originally started on the net as a UT Unreal Tournament UT99 player over dial-up when I lived in Richmond. Richmond had a crazy thing where I lived, that the cable companies did not own the cable lines in the area. It was actually the city. So even though there were less affluent areas of town that had high-speed cable around me, I was still stuck with dial-up because cable companies didn't own the cable line, so they couldn't run cable-based internet until the city gave them permission. And I was too far away from a DSL switch. So, 56K modems for a long time until finally I got cable in the area. But I was a UT99 player at the time. Got picked up for a clan in UT99 Domination by the name of Super Rage Mode. Huge amount of respect for my original captain. He quit every year to go back to college. And he completely quit the game 100%. You didn't see hide nor hair of this captain every time college was in session. He would only play in the summer and Christmas breaks. I have a tremendous amount of respect for that guy even today, because I don't know that I would have had the willpower to avoid that level of gaming when I was in college, especially flash forward a couple of years to World of Warcraft. Yeah, that might be a major different story if that overlapped with my college career. But I got lucky, it didn't. So, after being in UT99 Domination and the clan breaking up when the captain went back to college, some of us kind of reformed our own clan, and that didn't work out. We were actually a weapons domination division within another clan, and some drama broke out, so the domination players left and formed their own clan. I got involved with the clan that I'm in now back in 2001 in another game, Return to Castle Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, and then later Red Faction. And I said to my UT buddies, I was like, hey, why don't we fold the UT clan into this giant Nerve clan that has a nice website and good voice comms and all this kind of stuff, and let's just play UT Domination under their umbrella. And we did, and that's how I'm in the clan that I've been in literally since 2001, and we've existed in many games, many genres of games. I mean, we're still going in World of Warcraft as one of the oldest charters on our server, and they played the Battlefield series. We played Halo 1 CTF competitively. There was a minor uprising for Titanfall. We thought we were going to do something. We had a lot of practices, but we didn't. We were UT99 players, 2K3 players, 2K4 players, CNC Renegades. I mean, the list is huge for the amount of games Nerve has played on ladders competitively over the years. I mean, there's even been some Counter-Strike stuff in there. So, right around the time of UT2K4, I had a server called Recon Gamer. Now, Recon Gamer was the second server company that I know that pulled something like this. They disappeared in the middle of the night. The first company that I knew that did this was called Island Gaming. Island Gaming ran a competitive website called IGL.net, which was Island Gaming League. They just shut their doors in the middle of the night and disappeared, and we were left without our game servers. We were even left without our web servers. We couldn't run our leagues anymore because it ran on their hardware, so IGL scrambled to redo their ladders, and they finally did. I was adminning for them at the time. I was also adminning for another gaming site called Proving Grounds. So this is Nerve's old profile from February of 2003 on Proving Grounds. This is where I did a lot of adminning before I moved to IGL, and then eventually TWL. This pretty much this really shaped my internet persona for many years. Being a ladder admin, being a game admin on a lot of these sites, it refines who you are as a person. You can't act in typical internet fashion when you represent something much bigger than yourself. You're representing your clan, you're representing the ladders that you admin, you're representing the websites that you work for. You can't go on a forum back in 2001, 2002, 2003 and just be like, dude, that match last night was gay. Like, you can't get away with that kind of stuff. You have a certain level of maturity that you have to maintain, and this is where a lot of that came from. It's kind of different now. You've definitely heard me go off in some of my videos on people who screw with the Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux project, but a lot of my ability to build walls around bad internet personality and everything like that kind of comes from the years of being an admin, and our claim to fame over here on Proving Grounds, we were the second and only second UT99 Domination clan to hit 10 wins in a row on the ladder. The only other clan that did it was considered the very best UT Domination clan of the time, which was United Assassins, and we were only the second ones to do it, and we were the only two to ever do it. There was a set of rivals that we had called Violent Persuasion that they got extremely jealous of the fact that we were 10 games along with United Assassins, and they thought they were better than us, and they fought us on the ladder to break the streak and to continue. Actually, no, we were well past it at that point. They were trying to do their own streak, and they went up against us, and they lost in 3 matches. They got so upset, they left the ladder and reformed the team in an attempt to have a clean slate so that they could get 10 in a row. Also, that was a defining moment for us back then, is to beat such a completely asshole-ish clan that was constantly dogging us and constantly baiting us and everything like that, and we screwed up their plans big time and made them so, like, you've seen somebody rage quit your games and everything like that. We made them rage quit a ladder temporarily, and I played some of their players on some of the individual ladders that Proving Grounds had, and I beat several of them, including there was a weapon in UT99 called the shock rifle. It's been a mainstay of the Unreal series and considered one of the greatest weapons of all time. When you look at videos on it, and I beat this guy on a one-on-one ladder for shock rifles, and he was considered one of the best shock rifle people. And there was another defining moment, because I got to send him back to his little bitches with a loss on a ladder that he was supposed to have beaten me on. So that was fun. But here's Proving Grounds on the Wayback Machine. This site is Cold Fusion. That's how old this is. It was hacked to pieces, which is why the admins eventually gave up the site and said, we can't do this anymore, because they recovered from so many hacks at the time, because Cold Fusion had no security on it whatsoever. So Recon Gamer and Island Gaming were one of 2 server companies that just shuttered themselves in the middle of the night and disappeared. And this is a thread I happened to find today of somebody trying to find information on Recon Gamer because they screwed them over, and we got screwed over by them too. That's actually why I'm on YouTube, is because a lot of the videos that were recorded in World of Warcraft in the early days and our UT videos were on Recon Gamer's web server, and then when they disappeared in the middle of the night, we couldn't get them back. And if we put them up there thinking it was safe and deleted them from hard drives, they were gone. So the saddest day for me is to know that the original 10 charter signers of my World of Warcraft guild, that dates back to January of 2005, and that's actually our second charter, when our charter went through and we became a clan in World of Warcraft, or guild, we took a picture of the 10 of us at the inn in Crossroads, and we don't have that anymore. And to whip that out 15 years later, on our 15-year anniversary, and know that that picture did exist at one point and doesn't anymore, it's actually very sad. It's poignant. So, let's take a look at some of the behind-the-scenes stuff on the video. So you'll see here the first ever video that I have on YouTube is my Fat Bear tanking the Baron in Undead Stratholme way back in World of Warcraft Vanilla, and it was published in July 25th of 2006. And you'll see a lot of this early stuff is our WoW videos. There's some AQ20 stuff over here, and then TBC kicks in. A lot of this is TBC videos, fair to middling views. This thing over here, the Ashbringer Crystal sequence in South Shore, is one of the videos that I like doing the most. This is a out-of-the-way event that occurs in World of Warcraft when you do Caverns of Time Durnhold, and you wander off the beaten path and you watch this whole sequence of them purifying the infamous Ashbringer Crystal in an inn, and it has music from Chrono Cross in it, and it's actually got a reasonable amount of views. This is one of the videos that I have liked the most in terms of uploading. And it's a lot of TBC videos here on the first page, and then some Wrath beta stuff, Death Knight in action. This video here, the exotic pets and Wrath of the Lich King, is my most popular video of all time at 77k views, uploaded 11 years ago. What that video was my hunter uploaded to the Wrath of the Lich King beta back when TBC was still out, and I went around as a Beastmaster and tamed the new pets that would be showing up in Wrath of the Lich King and showed them off. And it is my single most viewed video at 77k. So not a Marvel Avengers Alliance video. My second most viewed video is actually a Tim's Tech Corner video. It's how to root a Dell Streak 7 and put Jelly Bean on it. I don't have this device anymore. Very, very old video, long dead device. Third most is an HTC Flyer tablet running Jelly Bean, kind of similar to this one. So there's a bunch of Tim's Tech Corner ones over here, and then Wrath of the Lich King beta again, a level 80 mage in Wintergrasp and doing an instance called the Vault. Lenovo IdeaPad running Jelly Bean and being rooted. And then, weirdly enough, 23k video, 23k views for Marvel Strike Force updated tier rankings. Big. Never knew why this one took off. This is the only tier video I ever did for MSF that's had these kind of views. Then the engineering motorcycle in the Wrath of the Lich King beta, set to get your motor running, head out on the highway, Born to be Wild by Steppenwolf. Demonology and Warlock in Wrath of the Lich King beta, and then here we go, the highest Marvel Avengers Alliance related video I have is when the news broke that maybe it's coming back, when Gaming Life Beginner had his original post out there saying that he had the code, he was working on it. So 2 years ago, this is the topmost MAA related video that I have. Not even actual Marvel Avengers Alliance footage, it's the potential that the game is coming back. This was a free-to-play game called Bounty Hounds Online. What's odd about this video? Hugely popular in the Philippines. Don't ask me why, but the amount of views that are on this video that have come out of the Philippines is ridiculous. And then there's that Ashbringer one that you see over here. So Wrath of the Lich King beta was definitely a major high point for the channel. I wasn't doing any monetization at the time or anything, but a lot of those Wrath beta videos were really, really big. But then again, at the time, there weren't that many places on the net that you could go to find out this information. Now you've got Wowhead and Fat Boss. There's tons of information out there, but you know, back in 2008, it wasn't really that big. YouTube was a big area for it, and some minor other sites, and then things dip a little bit once Wrath of the Lich King actually comes out, and there's some boss videos for that. This was around the period of time where I started getting into a lot of open betas, and there's Torchlight, Algernon, which was a terrible game, huge amount of hits though. Again, this is another one where out of the country, out of the United States, huge amount of hits came from outside of the United States on this one. 15k, pretty solid. Then a follow-up, Exotic Pets 2. Some more open betas. That's Vindictus. I loved Vindictus when it was in its open beta. I played it with my girlfriend and a couple other people, and we had a lot of fun in there. Lord of the Rings Online, pretty decent amount of views. some glitches in World of Warcraft when I was flying but not supposed to. Vindictus stuff. Rift, that was another fun free-to-play game. So this is my big open beta period over here, and then back to some more World of Warcraft stuff, Darkspore, etc. So, now that you know that it's not my Marvel Avengers Alliance content that is my most viewed, let's find out what actually is my most viewed Marvel Avengers Alliance video and where it ranks in comparison to others, because this is where it's really surprising. So, discounting this one, which is after the game was dead, it was whether or not it may ever come back, the number one Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux video is this one way back in the beginning of the year, the 2019 updates. So this is actually set to one of my older videos, but it's modern commentary. This was when I was updating people on what Goofy's doing, how is the alpha going. He took some time off for a while, and actually it might be the one that is most commented on. Now, 251. It's up there for the amount of comments. You can see 236. It's a lot of discussions on there. Here's a Marvel Avengers Alliance 2 video. Pretty up there on the hits. Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux Alpha 0.0.0.4 did very well, but we're still not in Marvel Avengers Alliance. This is all Redux stuff. So, the rebirth of the game is actually drawing more hits to my channel than when the game was live, which is funny. Here's some World of Warcraft stuff. There's Alpha 5. This is a very recent one. That's the one that had the premiere. How to install and play Marvel Avengers Alliance 2 on a PC or an emulator. The Borderlands 2 save game editor is very high. The first public alpha release is actually lower than some of the ones after it, but better than some of the ones after it also. Still haven't hit a Marvel Avengers Alliance video yet. Mists of Pandaria and World of Warcraft, Rooted Nook Color, World of Warcraft Legion had to do an achievement that was in there. Marvel Future Fight, Beginner Tips, BlueStacks, Marvel Heroes. So there's the now dead Marvel Heroes game way back in 2013, the first version of the game. That was me playing Emma Frost. That was the highest video I had ever done for Marvel Heroes. Wrath of the Lich King, a Tim's Tech Corner video, another Tim's Tech Corner with a Sony tablet, and here it is, folks. Way down here at only about 6.5k views, Marvel Avengers Alliance, Gamora and PvP, published way back in 2014. So, not one of my highest videos by any stretch, but this is the highest Marvel Avengers Alliance video I had ever done, and it's a huge amount ahead of just about any other MAA video. It's a real rarity to see one of mine get up to this kind of hit, and I'm surprised that one has done it, because if you keep scrolling down, there's some Mar stuff, no MAA. We're on another page before we see Marvel Avengers Alliance stuff, and it's my very first video on it way back in 2013, about a year or so after it actually, well, no, months after it came out. It came out in 2012. This is the next highest MAA video down here at 4K views, and it was actually the first. But then here's another one very close to it. This is a tutorial on how to understand your PvP bonuses and stats. Timeline done in the middle of summer for MAAR. World of Warcraft stuff. Strike Force stuff. Saviors of the Multiverse. This is when Gaming Life Beginner was supposedly helming the project, and as you can see, this is the middle of 2017. Good news and bad news was occurring in this one. Marvel Future Fight, Marvel Heroes, and then Marvel Avengers Alliance. Doctor Doom is OP as hell back in 2013. So, interesting to note that Marvel Avengers Alliance, while probably bringing in a lot of subs, didn't really bring in a lot of views, and it's a very mixed bag as to just how many views they pulled in. There was the Gamora one, a solid 2,000 views ahead of its next closest MAA brother video. And it's a lot of my Tim's Tech Corner stuff that kind of won out the highest videos. And actually, wait a minute, let me go back to views. So yeah, it's a Wrath of the Lich King. So it's a World of Warcraft video that has my highest by far. I mean, nothing on my channel really approaches that. And then it's a bunch of tech stuff. And then it's WoW. And then it's tech stuff. And then out of nowhere, Marvel Strike Force. Don't know why this one's so popular, considering I've done other tier update videos. And they don't reach that kind of level. And then the very, very first announcement, when I found out the game might be coming back, this is the highest out of all of the Marvel Avengers Alliance or Redux videos, is this one. But it's good to see that Redux makes it onto the first page. So that's kind of what I wanted to go over with you guys, kind of peel back the layers of the channel with some surprising results and everything in terms of all channel analytics. A lot of this stuff is interesting in terms of the audience and like where people come from. As you could potentially imagine, the audience is mostly male. It mostly comes from the... oh, that's a lot. Yeah, I've locked it up. It mostly comes from the United States. There's a certain age demographic where most of the hits come from. And then there are several other countries outside of the United States that come fairly close to it. Philippines is big. A lot of South American countries are also fairly big. United Kingdom tends to be very big on the audience too. And that's kind of interesting. So thank you guys so much for 3.2k subscribers. I thought it was a lot when there was 100 way back when. I was amazed that it ever hit 1,000, and now to get up to 3,000, it absolutely blows my mind. I mean, no, that's not a Markiplier, that's not a PewDiePie, that's nothing compared to the big people who can literally live off of their YouTube revenue. I can't. When I was monetized back in the Marvel Avengers Alliance days, you know what I made in a month? Basically 2 Starbucks visits. It was not even a side job. It was pocket change when I was monetized back then. Somebody like Kingfisher, I would be curious to know what his financials were. I'm sure he'd be doing well on his YouTube content at the time. I'm not saying he could retire and live off of YouTube, but knowing what my views were and knowing what his views were, he probably could make a decent penny. I would make between like $10 and $15 a month. So if you ever remember an ad on those videos at that time, like, oh, god damn it, Napalm with these ads, and like, I hate this, I hope he's getting money from this, I'm clicking through this shit. Yeah, I wasn't. That was maybe 2 visits at Starbucks, or 2 fast food visits or something like that, or a decent fast food restaurant, or, you know, like a pizza or something in a month. So thank you guys so much for getting me to the point where a recent video, I mean, that's 11k views over there. It's mind-boggling to me for somebody who's just doing this simply because I want to connect with fans. This is all about discussions. There are a lot of videos that are on this channel, like this one here, the first level 60 in WoW Classic resorts to ninja looting. I don't expect a lot of views for it. I don't expect for people to find it interesting, but the fact that people might post on it and discuss the issue with me and I get to respond to it, that's what is very important to me. In the last year of Marvel Avengers Alliance, there was a lot of conversation going on in the videos, and people seeing my teams and either thanking me for them or commenting on them and saying, hey, I'm doing this, what do you think? that's really what I live for, was the ability to engage people with the topics that I like. And surprisingly enough, the Zoe Quinn videos do relatively well because it was a hot topic at the time and people wanted a space to discuss the terrible things that were going on at the time, especially after the suicide of Alec Holowka. So that's why I tend to do videos that are like that. They're thinking pieces because I want to engage in people. And throughout the years, from when I was doing the Marvel Avengers Alliance stuff in 2015 and 16 up until the end, there's been a lot of people that I would consistently come and see them down in the comments. So Jonathan Wyatt, who I had on Facebook and would visit my streams, we talked shop for MAA so much. I love seeing him in my comments. There's a guy who's no longer on my Facebook because he's right and I'm left, and he couldn't take it after a while. Pastor Doug would comment on a lot of my teams and tell me how I helped him out. There was a lot of engagement with him. He was a Facebook friend up until recently. Now Darth Plato visits my comments a lot, and I mean, if he's the only one who comments on a video that I produce, that's fine, because we have engaging conversation with it. Iron Maiden Legacy of the Beast, Sus Snow visits those videos a lot and comments on it. I get to talk to him. Alfonso, I mean, there's so many names that I can't always think of right now that visit my videos and talk. Gui Santos is another one, or Gigi. I've got him on Facebook. We talk a little bit still. And I've got a lot of friends on Facebook that were fans simply in Marvel Avengers Alliance. You had to add each other to get them as your pilot and as your little emergency join in my combat. I always confuse that one. Like, I don't want to say deploy, but you know what I mean. It's when you click on the button and one of your friendly agents comes in. For some reason, my mind always blanks on that, but to get them to be your friend and assist you in combat Marvel Avengers Alliance, you always had to add them to your Facebook. And in the beginning, that was scary. It's like, hey, I'm a private person. I don't know that I want these rando strangers, these internet strangers being on my Facebook. And it actually broadened my horizons a lot. I made a lot of Facebook friends that way, and they're still friends today. Some of them have faded out. Some of them have surprisingly faded out, and I don't know why. Like Michael Springer was a guy that I have on Twitter. We used to comment on stuff a lot. He disappeared. And I was kind of like, oh, why? And I will say this, there was only one time where I ever got rid of somebody on my Facebook friends that was Marvel Avengers Alliance related. And I've told the story a few times. It was a guy not in the States. He posted 2 aggressive animal videos, and on the second one was the final straw. The first one I was like, this guy fucking sucks, but whatever. The second one was like a third world country village, and it was a video of a guy tying a rat or a mouse to a cat's tail, and they were holding the cat, and they tie this, if the cat is alive and the mouse is alive, they have these 2 animals tied together, and they let the cat go, and the cat looks behind him and sees this mouse there, and he spins around a couple times to try and get away from it, realizes he can't get away from it, and then takes off across the dirt of this village while a whole bunch of people laugh. But he's now out of the village. They can't, the cat is not confined. It's not like they can go, okay, and grab the cat and untie this mouse or rat from him. He's like off in the woods somewhere, or the jungle. And I was like, dude, you are fucking hideous. Like, you're gone. That guy I bounced out of my friends list, and that is the only time I've ever blocked and banned somebody from my friends list. I have people who have way different political views than me. That's okay. That's our space to talk about that. And in the end of the day, I'm not one of those blocky types. People block me, which is perfectly fine. But a lot of the Marvel Avengers Alliance friends that I made are still friends today. fans for life. I'm glad they are because they get to find out about Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux and their favorite game coming back and everything like that. So that makes me really happy. These are some of my playlists over here. My remixes playlist is a bunch of like remixes and songs that don't fit into a song genre, like OSTs from games and everything. Like that's Chrono Cross over here, Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy VII Unreal Tournament. And then the good stuff is actually videos or songs that I like. And then I have a favorites playlist, which is favorite videos on YouTube that is not songs, like maybe a commercial or just something funny or stupid. So in terms of recent uploads, we've got Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux Beta 2, Battle Breakers, the WoW Classic Ninja Inc., Google Stadia Sucks, Legends of Runeterra, Marvel Strike Force, the figures. So Goofy has his figures now. He's going to try and fix the broken one. He's very, very happy and appreciative that the community came together and made that donation to him. My thoughts on BlizzCon, Beta 1, Marvel Battle Lines closing, Outer Worlds, which is a phenomenal game, and the Hold My Beer competition that's going on between Blizzard and Bethesda, being terrible software companies. So thanks everybody for being here along the ride up to 3.2k views. Know that if you are somebody I routinely engage with in my comments, even people who don't speak English as a foreign language, like Felipe, he posts everything in his language and I translate it, and then I post my stuff and I hope he translate it. But if I've engaged with you more than 5 times on my videos, I know who you are when I see you, and thank you very much. Any of these videos, just remember, like the videos, talk about them, drive up those hits and everything like that. Subscribe if you feel like it, subscribe, and you know that algorithm goes off when there's a lot of people talking down in the videos. It becomes popular and visible, and it brings more people into the Avengers Alliance project. And you know, if 3k people view Avengers Alliance stuff but only 34 view BlizzCon stuff, that's perfectly fine, as long as I get to talk to people. So take care everybody. Thanks again for the 3.2k hype, and I appreciate each and every single one of you, and look forward to doing videos for you guys in the future, whether it be Avengers Alliance Redux or other things that interest me. Take care everybody.